Hello and welcome to Insights from Autistic. I'm Arman Khodaei, a 24-year-old high-functioning individual of autism. Today's video is titled Overcoming Autism, and it is meant to complement my Conquering Autism video. So if you've not seen that video, then I highly recommend watching it, but this video does stand on its own. One of the key differences between this video and the Conquering Autism video is that this video is for individuals with autism who actually desire to overcome certain aspects of that. So you have to be at a certain cognitive level, but for parents watching this, I do believe what I have to say can be applied to your child as well. So what I want to first say is I now believe that autism can be 100% overcome, at the very least if the individual is at a high functioning autistic level, but they have to have the will to want to have that happen. Now, me personally, I like myself as I am now, and so there's certain autistic characteristics that I don't want to overcome, but if I really wanted to, I could do it. I believe I could 100%. Before in the past, I thought it would be impossible to completely overcome autism, but now I do believe it's possible, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. And you might ask, well, why would I want to do that? If I like who I am, whatever. Well, maybe you don't have to overcome every aspect. Maybe there's certain aspects you don't like about the autism, and it can be overcome, or all of it can be overcome, and you can become a completely different person. Anyone, whether they have autism or they're not autism or not autistic, they can become a completely different person by their own willpower, and I do believe this 100%. But you have to want it, and you have to be willing to take the risk and become a different person. And is this a good or a bad thing? I think it's a little bit of both. Probably more good than bad for the most part, as long as you choose to become an even better person. So what it means to overcome autism? Really, it's about letting go of your aspects of yourself, of how you see yourself. Maybe it's how you see yourself in social settings, or talking to people, or the hand flapping, or being very focused, or repeating yourself. Now I'm going to use a non-autistic example to show you, because it was actually pretty rapid. Now, I've always wanted to become a really good writer, and I am, in my opinion, a good writer. It was in the 11th grade, and it's when I realized how to write well. Before then, my writing was at good 11th grade writing. What would be considered good for 11th grader, but not professional, not anything exciting, nothing groundbreaking. Not J.K. Rowling or Stephen King or even Stephanie Meyer for that matter. And then one day I just, I let go of how I saw writing. I let go of all the teachings I had, everything, And then I wrote this incredible piece. It's called A Boy in Wonderland. It was written as a short story first, now it's a book. And someday, I do promise you, even though I don't have a publisher yet, but I do promise you that book will be out, and you will be able to read it someday, which A Boy in Wonderland is about my life. It discusses how I've overcome autism pretty much, and it goes far more in depth than this video does. And so that's the biggest thing, because I let go of all the things I know about writing, and then I wrote this amazing piece, and now I understand how to write, because I know what good writing is. And so this really, I met this person a few days ago when we got to talk, and I realized how it is. It's that when I got to talking to it, there's two paths for this person. This person wants to become a great musician and everything, and or become a music teacher, but everyone except for the guidance counselor at the very beginning, everyone's trying to deter them from that path, trying to get them to do a different career and say, do music as an aside. But here's the thing about careers and money and everything. I said, what is more important, money or your happiness? And even my dad's like, you have to have a backup plan, for your writing. And let me tell you something, I don't need a backup plan. I'm a very good writer, and a lot of times we are afraid to take the risk. And overcoming autism is about taking a huge risk. It's about taking huge leaps, and so when we have backup plans, that's like saying we're not certain about our path, and we're going to cling on to where we're at right now, you know, instead of striving for, you got to give it 100%. That's what I'm saying. You got to give it 100%. So moving on, now this does build up. I assure you that I am getting to something with this. So like with relationships, for example, I don't know how many people with autism have had, their heart broken and then have met someone else. But with relationships, when that happens, I've had my heart broken a few months ago, about 10 months ago. And from this, I've become a better person now, and I have new insights for when I do meet that next person. Or perhaps, well, let's not even get there. But let's say I do have, when it does happen, when next time it comes, I'll have better insights, and it'll be better because I've let go of the past relationship, and now a newer, better relationship can present itself. So it builds upon itself. So when you can let go of your autism, when you're willing to, and that's what I've had to do. I've had to let go of my autism. Then you become a better person. But when you let go, try to focus on what it is that you want. Don't just lose autism just to lose it because you want to be normal, whatever the case may be. Think about how you're going to become a better person, how you're going to interact with more people, or meet the right people that you want to meet, or whatever. And another thing, clutter in our lives. There's clutter in our mind, and there's also the clutter around us. A thing I recommend is really going through everything, your clothes, your personal items, knickknacks, whatever, and throw away everything that is old, that doesn't serve you anymore. A lot of times we cling to the past, and it's hard to let go of that old stuff. First start by boxing up if it's too hard to let go. Maybe we buy a T-shirt, from 3 years ago, like maybe you're a really big Transformers fan, and at first it was shiny and new and everything, but now it's worn out, wrinkly, that's faded, but you still wear it because you liked it when you first got it, because your vision of it is your vision of when you first got it. But by letting it go, you can get a new Transformer shirt, an even better Transformer shirt, for instance. I'm using it as an example because I like Transformers. So letting go of the clutter, the physical clutter, but then also there's the mindful clutter, and a lot of, everything with autism is in the mind. And we got to let go of that. We got to, it's hard. It's a challenge. I'm not saying it's easy. And if you have questions on how to do this, please write them down below. I know I'm going to have to go in more detail later on, and I will in another video. So what I'm saying is that with autism, we become, it's familiar to us. It's safe. It's safe for the hand flapping. It's safe for the focus. It's safe not talking to people because that's what we're used to doing, and sometimes we got to be willing to take that risk and let go of ourselves to become something better. So how I've overcome autism, mostly because I definitely am not 100% overcome it, it began with my mom pushing me, pushing for me as well in school and my personal life. And she explained autism over and over again, and it sinked into me eventually. And then from there I was able to like, so that's autism, and I was able to see it, and I could see what she was seeing finally, to some extent. I was pissed off at first. I'm like, how can you hate me for who I am? Not that she hated me. She loved me and everything, like any parent does. But it's like, how can you be criticizing me for being this way and everything? But I saw it. I tried to see the other people's perspectives, and then from there, I was able to let go of those aspects that I realized really did hold me back in some ways. And from that, I became a better person. I understood and I decided I wouldn't let autism define me. Which meant, letting things go. Letting things go that I love dearly, such as my Star Wars collection. And so I let go of my Star Wars collection. That was a huge part of my life. It took up 8 years of my life, but I let that go. So I become a better person because Star Wars defined me. That was who I was. And for people without autism or autism, think about this one. When we let go, imagine what happened if we didn't let go of the Model T, if we were still driving Model Ts. Or if we sold the Atari instead of the Wii or the 360, that's what it's like. You gotta let go. So